What's up, guys? Welcome to a new niche site blogging video. To start, if you didn't know, Google went ahead and released I guess you could say a seminar, a live presentation of their new update to what the Google search algorithm is actually going to be looking like in the future. It's very, very powerful, and it affects us greatly in a positive way. And this is actually very, very good news for bloggers that blog the same strategy and the same method that I blog in, which is our niche site strategy. If you're not familiar about creating niche sites, creating these small blogs, I have a website called cashcownichesites.com. And if you go over here and you click this button, you can get access to the free blogging course where you kind of understand the way I create these kind of niche sites, how I make money doing it, etc. All right, so go ahead and check it out. But the reason why this is very, very powerful, I'll go ahead and explain it. And I'm super stoked about this, and I'm super, super excited. Can't wait for it to happen. But Google effectively is creating a system, as you guys know, called Google Bard. And Google Bard is an AI tool that essentially scrapes the internet in a matter of seconds and understands the solution that it needs to provide to the user. Okay. Now, if you go to googlebard.com, I actually did a video on it, so I'm not going to do it now. But essentially, it's basically a competitor to ChatGPT. But the reason why it's very, very effective is because there's going to be an element of Google Bard built into Google search engine. So if I go to google.com here, like right here, Google, right, and I do a search, Google Bard is going to be involved in it. Now, it's not here yet. It's going to be released eventually. But what this is going to happen is based on the question that you ask, you're going to have the regular search engine, and then right above the search engine, right, where there used to be, right above the search engine results, where there used to be the Google snippet, that's going to be replaced now with essentially, I forget what it's called, but it's essentially a Google Bard solution, right? And instead of a snippet, it's like a box. It's like a green colored box, and it will provide for you the result to the question that you're answering. And then on the right side of that box, it's going to show the articles or the websites where that information was taken from. Now, this is actually very, very, very powerful because you have to remember, what is the whole point or the purpose of adding AI to a search engine? It is to make the user's experience a better experience by directly answering their question through processing power. See, if you have the power to amalgamate all the data on the internet and come up with a solution, that's essentially an all-knowing being, right? And that's what this computer is, even though it's not a human being, but it's a creation, it's an entity in a way, right? This machine that is all-knowing. Well, if we go ahead and do that, we can actually, if we go ahead and continue creating our niche sites and our topics, we're going to succeed tremendously, and I'll explain why. When Google releases this feature, it's going to become more of an understanding over time that Google is going to provide you results to the direct question that you are asking. I'll give you an example. Let's say you ask a question where you're asking Google, and let's reference this to my testosterone blog, for example, right? And say, at the age of 40, should I be eating 12 eggs a day to gain more testosterone or to improve my testosterone levels? If somebody was to ask a question like that, right? Google is going to look all over the internet over many different searches. So the first thing it's going to search is 12 eggs a day. It's going to search information at the age of 40. It's going to search testosterone at the age of 40. It's going to provide a lot of different searches. If you were a human being searching for this kind of information, right, you'd probably click on a lot of articles, but then jump off those articles because they're not beneficial to you. But once again, since Google can process all these websites simultaneously, it can come up with a solution for you. And more importantly, it directly links and it provides images and sources in this like box creation where it will show the websites it's pulling it from. Well, why does that matter? Well, if you remember, the way I recommended and the strategies that I've been teaching how to create a blog since the beginning is going through the niche site and going deep into a niche. Don't talk about general information. Be very, very specific with your niche. Be specific with your topics and slowly expand out. This strategy is not only beneficial, but it's going to be extremely profitable because it's going to allow us, the little guy, the creators who own niche sites that are smaller niche sites, to make even more money and drive even more traffic, because now it will create a positive feedback loop towards esoteric questioning. What is esoteric questioning? Esoteric questioning is when you search something on Google that directly does not have an answer. For example, if I sit here and I ask Google, what does antibiotics do to the body? That has a direct answer, right? It improves, it helps the immune system, whatever, right? It kills the bacteria, whatever, right? Whatever the answer is. I'm no scientist, but you get the point. But an esoteric question could say, a question that hasn't been necessarily presented, but through processing power through AI, it can now provide you an answer. And the answer is derived from your essentially your niche blog, your niche site. So what this does, guys, is this improves our situation drastically. If you've been doing the right thing and creating these niche sites and creating these niche blogs, and even if you haven't started yet, what's going to happen is that eventually when you start and you have this amalgamation of content that is hyper specific, your website now is going to grow, and it's going to grow tremendously because you're going to provide users with the exact answer to the question you want. And when you do that, you're providing extreme value, not a low level of value or medium level, but extreme level of value. And then you have effectively income created from that situation. So in fact, this is very, very powerful and very beneficial to small bloggers like us who are creating websites, who are creating content on very specific material. I've said this before, but when you create very specific content, you typically get low search traffic because there's not as many people searching for it. So for example, when you go from short tail to long tail, it becomes less competitive, but more specific. So I'll give you an example, and also less traffic. Now that's not a bad thing, and I'll explain why in just a second, but I'll give you an example. If I search for hat on Google, the word hat, H-A-T, well, there's a billion types of hats out there. There's baseball hats. There's, all kinds of hats. I mean, you guys can think of them. Safari hats. I mean, just so many kinds of hats. If I search for blue snapback hat, now I'm being extremely specific on what I'm looking for. If I search for even something more specific, and I search for basketball blue sports snapback hat, now I'm making it even more long tail, even more specific. So the more specific your content is, also the more specific your products are, the more benefit you're going to receive when you get searches, especially if people are searching for those specific things, because the AI is going to be able to provide a result to that specific reader. And that's extremely, extremely beneficial for here over time. All right, guys. So this is a good thing. This is not a bad thing whatsoever. And for us, this is not the end, but it's only the beginning to making more income. We're not going to be as washed out back in 2008, 2010, and 12 with the big websites. I don't know if you guys remember this, but in the blogging a while ago, from like 2008 to 2012, if you had a blog and you were a smaller website, you were pretty much washed out. Before 2008, you could actually get a lot of search traffic. Everybody was getting search traffic, But then Google started really holding the larger websites to a higher standard and providing them more traffic. And then ever since then, we smaller websites have been getting more and more traffic slowly. And what this allows, honestly, is a reversion back to the original golden era of Google. And if you guys remember what the golden era of Google was, where you can create a website and you can generate traffic on that website almost effectively in the same period, the same month almost. And the reason why, and you can build a whole entire business. And the reason why is because there was so low competition. What this AI does, guys, is it brings us back to that time because of the quality of your specific content. The more specific content you provide, the higher chance that you will be seen through this AI based on the question that person asks. So if your if your topic really leans to the help of that individual, right? The AI will notice it. Trust me, it's going to scrape the whole entire web in a matter of seconds, and it will provide that result. So that's very, very cool. And also, not to mention, if you haven't started a blog, go ahead and start one. Don't be the last person to sign up or to start doing something that everybody else is now doing. Right now, Trust me, it's not that fancy to start a blog, but it provides passive income, right? And I've been talking about this for a while. You don't want to be the guy 5 years from now who starts saying, okay, I think I'm ready to start now. By that time, it's like, what's the point? You've already missed out on hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars. What's the point? You're already late to the game. So the point here is that get the head start now. Start creating this specific content. Create a portfolio of different blogs. Obviously, one blog at a time, especially if you're a beginner. But if you're advanced, you can create a portfolio and really get cracking on creating more content. There's no time in the universe better than now to start a blog. And of course, as you guys know, if you need that help, go ahead and click free blogging course on our website. I'll leave the link in the description. You guys can go in the description in the pinned comment and look for the free blogging course link. Go ahead and sign up, all right? I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching, and peace out. Bye.